another meeting. So I assure anybody who is online, I will be, to live and learn. It's a learning curve for me. I'll be better prepared, a bigger screen, a better speaker, so that people in the audience, we can all see one another and interact better. So I apologize.
Okay, go ahead.
The candidate mind read you telling us where you think we're headed with regard, or what your answer is.
Maureen, I'm going to let you start with that, because people talk about it, but I have to.
Jamie, if that question was for me, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, the question was for you.
I was just asking what each candidate is thinking of complicated. No, by the way, Mark did that. So I know it's a complicated issue. I know it's an issue. I know I get but I'd like to know what.
Jamie, can you bring the phone to him so he can speak into your phone?
Yeah, I think okay, he wants to know what the option is.
Sorry, I still can't hear.
Can you hear us?
It's very difficult. Maybe shut the phone off and use the computer. You're still muted, Ray.
How's that?
That's great, but can the person that's asking the question come closer to the computer microphone?
It's Mark. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Mark.
Hi, Maureen. Thanks for all your work and your emails and, keeping us updated and your time and energy for all this. I appreciate it. I just wanted to ask each of the candidates, and I know that the roof issue is complicated. People have different opinions about it. Again, I'm in Devon 113. I've owned since 2015. I'm just curious what each one of you, what your position is with what we're going to do moving forward with the roof.
Okay, it's a very topic that's very close and near and dear to my heart. Can you hear me, Mark? Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you double. Yes, very well. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear him, and as long as you guys can hear me, I'll proceed. So the roof is one of the major reasons why I got involved. We have had maintenance on that roof since 1967, and 1997, from the same company. My understanding is that we pay about $30,000 a year for the maintenance on that roof. My understanding is that we have had significant repairs on the roof that have cost above and beyond the maintenance. Our previous maintenance contract was every quarter they would come in, and I can't remember, I want to say it was about $7,000 per quarter, and they would resurface a certain portion of the roof. If we had a leak, they would repair the leak, and the resurfacing of the roof would be foregone for that period. My understanding is that after 5 years, essentially the whole roof would have been resurfaced. There is a lot of confusion as to when that roof needs to be repaired. It's a very complex situation. The state of the roof also impacts your insurance. Insurance companies do not want to insure, or they want to increase the premiums if your roof is less than 15 years old, I believe. Having said that, when you ask folks how much, because you want to do a return on investment, right? You want to figure out timing wise, and when are you throwing good money after bad, right? So if you have to ask the question, how much more is your insurance premium going to cost because your roof is so old? That's why we have an insurance mitigation letter. The insurance mitigation letter explains all of the maintenance on the roof. and why we are not going to have to, I guess, have a claim on that roof because nothing is going to get torn off, and we don't file claims for repairs. We do them ourselves. So having said that, we had a 50-year inspection report that said we had 5 years left on the roof. When the company came in to do the structural integrity reserve study, they were given a list of items of intended repairs, one of which was that we were going to repair the roof in 2025. No structural engineer took a look at that roof and did any studies, as far as I can tell, because I asked for all of the reports and the communication with the structural integrity reserve folks. So how we have come to the conclusion that we have to invest in a new roof this year is not clear to me. And when I attempted to try to get that information from our president, Frank, it was a very contentious conversation. I actually had to hire a lawyer so that I could look at the official documents and dig down into the status of the roof. I actually reached out to 4 different roofing companies. The gentleman that did our 50-year inspection to find out how do you determine when you need a new roof. I still have not been able to get to those official documents. I will be in the office on the 18th to take a look at those and to do an actuary assessment of how, first of all, to finance the roof or how to assess the individuals for a new roof. But first and foremost, we must find out what is the remaining useful life of that roof? And that's the challenge. If the questions are still unanswered, I don't have an answer for you. I was not at any of the meetings where they had the roofing experts come in and explain to us why we needed a new roof. One of the questions I do have is what's the motivation for a company to come in and tell us we need a new roof? I think we all know the answer to that question, right? So what I intend to do...
We do need a new roof.
Well, yeah, the question is when, right?
Well, they have said that we have a good 5 years left on the roof.
So my point is, the question is still outstanding. My intention when I get on the board is to try to get an answer to those questions. I'm not waiting to get on the board to get answers to those questions. Like I said, I hired a lawyer. I'm coming in to take a look at all of the roofing repairs, all of the costs for the repairs, all of the maintenance. We're sitting here now without any maintenance on our roofs. One of the questions I asked during the budget review meeting was why are our special reserve assessments, I know we voted 50% of the SERS, why are they less than what we were paying last year for special capital investments? I don't have an answer to that question. So again, from my perspective as a candidate for the board, I fully intend to get to the bottom of when the roof needs to be repaired and what are our options to pay for that roof.
Maureen, may I say something?
Absolutely.
Yes, Tony.
Just as a reminder, the insurance company cannot force you to put a new roof if that roof has 5 years or more left on it. The original, and I found this out, I'll tell you how, I attended a insurance seminar, Florida insurance seminar, and I pulled the lady, her name was Tasha Carter, she's the insurance advocate for the state of Florida, so she's for the consumer side. And she explained to me that by statute, no insurance company may require a condo or a homeowner to put a new roof on the property if it's been determined it has 5 years or more. Now, she didn't get into the premium price, but the SK Quality Roofing contract, if you go back and look at the front page of the letter, that when it was renewed, it said something like, I don't remember exactly, the association should never have to have the roof replaced because it's under constant maintenance. Whatever percentage was done was a percentage that was done. Did it need to be a little bit more? It could have been a little bit less. It's here nor there. If there was ever an issue, there was no charge. They came out and took care of it.
Also, people need to understand this is a rolled roof. It's a rolled roof.
Correct. It's a flat roof. So I will tell you, honestly, my recollection is maybe once, twice a year, there would be a minor leakage. It's a flat roof. If you know anything about flat roofs, which what the hell did I know going back 25 years ago, I learned from a roofer, flat roofs in Florida have to be maintained. That's when we got, and it was when Jim Cook was on the board, and I was on the board at the time, and we got that maintenance contract, and it saved us a whole load of money. It has more than paid for itself. There was no issue until this board decided to make it an issue. I don't know why they chose that. It makes no sense. The worst part of this, may I add, is out of their own mouths when they had an insurance roofer, with a roofer come out, a vendor, if they were to replace the roof, it would be warranted for 2 years. After the 2 years, you'd have to go right back to the maintenance program because the warranty would be voided. Flat roofs must be maintained, so it does not make too much financial sense to replace a roof that all flat roofs leak. River Shores is not unique. It was rare there was a problem. Yes, it did occur. It doesn't matter, any flat roof. Therefore, if the board can explain the logic with it, which they can't because one of them had the chops to say all the wood in the roof in the main building. And that was also good. They were going to get all the wood in the roof. It's all soft concrete and of course it's tar. They were going to check for termites and that was going to take care of the whole building. That's what one of the board members said. It's recorded. So this is what you got on the board. And as far as the heather roof, may I please remind everybody before I left that heather roof was sealed and I think they painted it. It was pressure washed and sealed. That is a tile roof. There should be no problem. I had the vendor who did that roof 25 years ago come out and check the roof because then resident Frank Danford was saying, oh, the roof is old, the roof is old. And I had the roof checked because it didn't hurt anything. They said that roof should last with 50 years. But like everything, it has to be maintained. I'm glad I got that off my chest. I hope some people get it now. When there's a problem...
Thank you, Tony. One quick thing. The 5-year statute thing with roofs, that may be in the statute or the statute of regulations.
Correct.
In practice, an insurance company may say, or come up with another reason not to cover us.
Correct. And you know what? It could be, I can come up with, well, you're east of 95.
Right.
Oh, the building is over 15 years. You know, they can come up with anything they want. My concern what the board did with the insurance now, if you know what they did, they layered the insurance. Are any of these insurance companies admitted carriers in the state of Florida where they're under the Florida Guarantee Fund if something happens? I think it was Mr. Bowie who commented about Lloyd's of London, which I think is the first tier, if I remember right. There's a concern. Now, I don't want to cry wolf. I don't know. But my concern is, what happens, God forbid, at least, yes, we pay dearly for it, but there's an insurance crisis in Florida. River Shores is not unique. My concern is, what happens if they're not... admitted carriers in the state? Yes, they're permitted. They may be permitted to do business. That's something different. The admitted carriers fall under the Insurance Guarantee Fund. So the board, understandably, I'm not blaming this to them, but you know, you have to ask some questions. You have to get a better understanding other than it sounds good. Everything cannot be it sounds good. You got to know what to ask. This is a multiple-tiered wind property coverage. I have a concern. I don't know if it's really valid, but I have a concern, and the board is not able to answer that. So I've said my piece, thank you, I got it off because I just really don't like the board's answers with a lot of things, or lack of answers, I should say.
Okay, Mark, we're gonna make sure we finish.
I'm done.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Mark, I would say one of my concerns was whenever I saw that price, and I'm thinking to myself, well, with this management group, I just went in and I looked up the number of units, I looked down through there at the percentages, and I just multiplied that by what it was, and I was like, I can't come up with $6,000 next Tuesday. So I imagine there's a lot of us that would be in that situation.
Well, they were looking to find.
Right. Well, I'm saying that my first line of thought was that, and then you know I began to think about other things. Is a complete roof replacement requires all of the units on the top of the roof to be removed and taken off their settings and all the electrical and put back. How many of us have units up there that are 15, 20 years old, hauled on for life support as we already are, and you can only imagine what will happen after we take it off, put it back on. So I'm very concerned about looking at, even if it does go that route, looking at other alternatives or ways that it could be accomplished other than a full strip of the whole place. Because I think it will be, those are questions I want to ask.
It's falling apart. It needs to be replaced. What is that big storm? What? The stuff that everyone's units are on. The wood.
The stands.
Close to being caught. Those all need to be done. Those all need to be done.
Those
keep kicking the can down the road.
Those are the questions I want to ask. I want to know what are the options about these different things, and is it a strip of all 5 buildings at one time? What are some of them in better shape than others? We don't even. They couldn't answer any of my questions. I'm not even insinuating that I know the answers to these things, but these are the kind of questions that I would want to know before I just paid my $6,000.
What Tony was referring to, people don't understand our roof. It's a cool tar roof. So they would come back, we had it on a schedule. They'd start at Avon, and they'd do half of Avon, and they would pour new cool tar. And then they would do the other half, and they'd do Essex, and then we did that every year. So that's layers and layers and layers of cool tar. And so it's not like a normal roof. So these people come and, oh, you needed a roof. Are they gonna dig all that off?
Eventually we're gonna need a new roof. There's no doubt about it.
Ray, I don't want to interrupt again.
These residents just paid a $1,200 assessment. There's a lot going on. The insurance got hiked, all our HOAs got hiked.
Yeah.
So if we have several years left on the roof, let's step back, chill a little bit, look at options for how we can achieve to meet that goal to get the new roof over the next few years without breaking people.
My question is, I heard they didn't pay SNK's yearly warranty. We had this under warranty after we did the roof in '86.
They canceled the
They
contract.
canceled it. So are we screwed? Can we get that?
We have-
These
I
are,
don't know,
these are the type of questions that we're looking to get answered. So I don't know the answers to.
I don't know that answer.
I have a question.
Hard to get answers.
There's a lot of elderly folks here, people that, are on fixed incomes. This woman, Michelle, she's got a mortgage. Other people have mortgages. I'm not saying don't do the roof, but let's go at it sensibly.
But let's not do it until we have to, so it's.
Well, I think that what we're all saying is that we can't treat this world as like an insular world. We can't ignore the things that are going on around us
No.
in the other ways, like the insurance and those type of things. And there are better times to do things. But again, we don't even have enough information to even form up to really.
Wait a minute, may I ask a question?
Everything, how much we spent on the roof, when the contracts were canceled, can we go back under contract for maintenance?
That's my big question.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
don't
didn't
know.
say that, because they did it last year, so maybe we can.
Maybe.
I have a question.
As a collective group, I think it shows that we are not just willing to go willy-nilly into the next cost. I think that would be the collective.
Yes.
May I ask a question?
We all acknowledge it has to happen. I mean, there's many things that need to happen. But honestly, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Maureen, you can go ahead. I know since had something to add.
Maureen.
Yeah, I think that Tony had a question, so I just wanted to add a couple more things, and I think everybody just pretty much said the same thing that I'm going to say, but I just want to repeat it. Our maintenance contract for S&K was canceled. I do believe that we would have the ability to reinstate that contract. I have been in touch with them, and I'm sure that they would be happy to come back and help us with the roof if that's what we decide